Did you watch Kaala? Did you enjoy Rajinikanth's performance in the movie? Of course you did. I'm a Rajinikanth fan myself. But did you know that the movie had some subtle moments of propaganda of a particular ideology, namely the Dravidian Nationalism? Did you know that at its peak, the lead thinkers of that ideology wanted a separate country for the entire South India and sought the help of Muhammad Ali Jinnah? And did you know that all that may have started because of a Catholic historian? Let's get started. I'll keep the discussion spoiler free. Near the movie's climax, the villain played by Nana Patekar listens to Raman while his goons wreak havoc in the slums where Kaala and his people live. Kaala, like any hero, is shown valiantly fighting these thugs and saving his people. As the scene continues, Nana Patekar gets portrayed as Lord Ram and Rajni gets portrayed as Ravana. This is done in a relatively subtle fashion, but it's there, very obvious and very visible. The movie touches on many topics like the hardships of the working class because it is a relevant issue and must be portrayed on screen, no doubt. But what doesn't go well was the fact that the movie equated its villain to Lord Rama and its hero to Ravana, a stark contrast to popular Indian emotion. In Tamil Nadu, this is not a new phenomenon. Anti-ramayan, anti-Sanskrit and anti-brahmin sentiments have traditionally been used in Tamil politics. Most importantly, the Dravidian parties like DMK, which was headed by the now deceased M.Karunanidhi. Its parent political party is Dravida Kalagam, founded by Periyar, an outspoken atheist and socialist. He started the justice movement in 1925 to battle the superstitions and discrimination in the society at that time. He also voiced the bigger goal of his party, setting up of Dravida Nadu, a new Dravidian country independent from the federal rule of India. Periyar felt that the Dravidian culture or the South Indian culture was being oppressed by the North Indian Aryan culture of Sanskrit, which he asserted was dominated by Brahmins and other upper castes. His politics saw a mix of Dravidian nationalism, social reforms, and anti Hindi sentiments, backed by strong populist measures. All this worked well at the political scene, and the Dravida Munnitra Kalagam emerged as a major political alternative to Congress in the 1950s. While it must be acknowledged that Dravidian parties worked hard for social justice and Tamil self respect that did bring about a positive change, we must also accept that their movement was driven by hate as much as it was driven by responsibility. Here are a few shocking examples. In the early 1940s, Periyar wrote a letter to Muhammad Ali Jinnah, the founder of Pakistan, requesting his assistance in forming a new sovereign state called Dravidistan or Dravida Nadu. He called the Independence Day, the 15th of August 1947, as a day of mourning because he believed Brahmins and North Indians would dominate India after attaining freedom while his own compatriots opposed him on that topic. He broke the idol of Lord Ganesha and declared that praying to those powerless idols was backward. The son of M.Karunanidhi, M.K. Stalin, recently mentioned of his interest in witnessing Dravida Nadu. Some accounts say of Dravidian activists forcefully ripping the sacred thread of Brahmins as a sign of protest to their evil nature. Such acts of brutal hooliganism continue even now. Perhaps the most surprising aspect of the Dravidian movement is its origin. Even the word Dravida is a Sanskrit term meaning a land between three seas. There is no literary evidence of any north-south wars fought on cultural grounds. Along with other forms of the divine, Lord Ram was worshipped all over India. This perceived divide of North Aryans and Southern Dravidians did not exist before the advent of the British and missionary groups in the 1800s. But it all changed with the arrival of Robert Caldwell, a Christian evangelist who was active in the later part of the 19th century in India. He theorized that since the South Indian mind seemed different to him from the Sanskrit mind, there existed a possibility that Tamilians or Dravidians were an entirely different race. He believed that the indigenous Dravidians were ignorant and innocent, and their culture was hijacked by the Brahmins and North Aryans. This helped in the birth of the infamous Aryan invasion theory, which the British used successfully to divide India and rule. It is disproved now. Another author of the same ilk was G.U. Pope. He believed that Tirukkural, a 2000-year-old book which is often considered one of the greatest literary works of entire Tamil language, is actually influenced by Christian philosophy. These scholars wrote many such ridiculous theories and used their administrative power to propagate them and make them mainstream among the academic circles. This achieved two things. First, the caste discrimination was pinned solely on Brahmins and they were positioned as Aryan race, that is anti-Tamil or anti-Dravidian. Second, the resulting civil unrest was exploited to convert people to Christianity. Fast forward to the 20th century and India post-independence. These old, outdated and wild theories may have influenced Periyar and other thinkers of the Dravidian movement. They, along with many thinkers of the same school, started writing literature and alternative retellings of Hindu sacred texts, especially Ramayana, portraying Ravana as a lower caste Dravidian and Ram as an upper caste Aryan, who killed Ravana because he was a Dravidian. Especially Karunanidhi, along with MGR and Shivaji Ganeshan, harnessed the power of movies and propagated these theories widely. But since these theories had little to no scriptural and traditional basis, they started getting ignored. They don't enjoy the popularity they once had. That is until Pa Ranjit showcased them in Kaala. Fighting discrimination is very vital to realize equality in society. But an attempt to divide the society on Dravidian and caste fault lines is something else entirely. Both Ambedkar and Gandhi concurred that social discrimination is a true test of minorities, not religion. And I respect Ranjit's freedom of expression, yes, but taking unnecessary jibes and potshots at Lord Ram and the majority sentiment is, for the lack of a better word, cheap. It is cheap.